we're making no beef dip. Howdy, it's Linda Purcell from Veggie Outlaws, and today we're making no beef dip. So hop on board and let's get cooking. Now we're going to prepare our roasted portobello mushrooms. We preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We take our 6 portobello mushrooms. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the stems from the portobello mushrooms. Place the stem aside. You can use it later in broth, soup, stews. Do it for all 6. We need our baking dish. We're going to take our 6 portobello mushrooms, place them grill side up on our baking dish. We're going to spread a thin layer of oil over each cap. You can either brush it on with a pastry brush, a 1/4 teaspoon each, or I like to use my sprayer and just spray it on. Do a quick spray on each one. Now we're going to take half of our minced garlic and we're going to sprinkle it on each one. So that would be half a teaspoon of minced garlic sprinkled on each one. You want to press it in a little bit because we're going to flip it over. When we flip it over, we don't really want it falling off. Then we're going to take our 1/4 teaspoon of spiced seasoning. I'm going to sprinkle it over each one. Sprinkle it evenly over the 6 portobello mushrooms. We've already divided in half, so we know how much is half. Press it in a little bit. Then we take our black pepper. We grind a little bit of black pepper over each one. Now we flip them until the grill side is down. There we go. Flip them over. And we repeat the process on this side. So we take our oil, we spray our brush, a 1/4 teaspoon of oil over each one. We take our remaining 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic, sprinkle it over the caps. These are so good when they're done. We take our remaining 1/4 teaspoon of spiced seasoning, sprinkle it over each one. We take our black pepper, put a little bit of freshly ground black pepper over each one. Now we're going to bake these in the oven, grill side down, for up to 25 minutes or until the mushrooms are tender, but we want to be careful not to overcook. Now we're going to prepare the sauteed onions. We're going to start with 1 large sweet onion that we have removed the skins from, which we're going to slice into circles. We want them to be not too thick and not too thin, just a perfect size. As we get close to the end, I find it's easier just to cut it in half and slice it. Not circles, but they're easier to slice. We want to separate them, put them in a bowl for sauteing. A large frying pan on medium heat. Going to add in 2 tablespoons of broth. Let it heat up. Going to add in our sliced onions. 1 tablespoon of Bragg seasoning. 1 tablespoon of dried mushroom powder. 1 teaspoon of vegan Worcestershire sauce. Stir until they're well combined. Going to let this cook for about 30 minutes, stirring about every 7 minutes until the onions become tender, brown, and caramelized. If you stir too often, onions will not have time to brown, but if you wait too long, they may burn. While it's cooking, we add the remaining 6 tablespoons of broth, 2 tablespoons at a time, as the onions begin to dry out. If after adding all the broth, ingredients start to stick, we add a little more water. Those onions look nice. Look how beautiful those look. Now I'm going to pull out 4 teaspoons of the onions to use in the basil. I'm going to add here for the basil spread. My onions look ready. They look really nice. So I'm going to remove it from the heat. Once our mushrooms are cooked, we will remove them from the oven. Let them sit for about 10 minutes to let them cool down. Okay, after 10 minutes, I'm going to remove them. Now I'm going to thinly slice them. They look fantastic. Exactly 3 cups of beautifully sliced mushrooms, all ready for our new beef dip. Turn the heat onto medium heat. At the frying pan, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of Bragg seasoning. Let it heat up. You can see it's heating up. Once it's heated up, we're going to add 4 teaspoons of our sauteed onions, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic for about 3 minutes. Now we're going to add 1/4 cup of white wine, 3 tablespoons of chopped basil. Stir it, let it cook until the liquid has cooked off. Okay, it's ready. All the liquid has cooked off. We have 1 large baguette, which we're going to cut into 4 pieces. I'm going to cut these into halves. I like to have some extras just in case we need them. Take our griddle and put it on medium-high heat. We take our bread that we have cut. We take our basil spread and we spoon 1 1/8 teaspoon onto each one. And using a knife, spread it out. Then we spray each piece with our nice olive oil. Once hot, we take our prepared bread and place it on the frying griddle and cook for about 3 minutes. Place the bottom half of each one on a baking dish. If anything fell off, just scoop it up and add it. Basil cashew cream fresh, or our cashew cream fresh, we're going to add 1 1/2 teaspoons to each one. This is optional, but I do find it adds a nice creamy flavor. Using our spoon, we're going to spread it out. We're going to take about 3/4 of a cup of sliced mushrooms. Spread that on each one. One tablespoon of our onions to each one. I'm going to put this in the oven and cook it for 5 to 10 minutes until it's heated through. I'm going to add these on top, let it cook, let it heat up for another couple of minutes. We will serve it with 1/2 cup of our heated broth. So good. If you like what we cooked today, stir up that like button and subscribe. so you can be the first to see new recipes.